Okay, so today we are going to be tackling what we call plugins. So we are going to be looking at how we can install plugins or we can make use of relevant plugins to undertake our analysis. And if you could remember in our first meeting, I talked about the plugin button here in the standard toolbar, which you can see here. That's when you click and open that, you can install any plugin of your choice to help you do your analysis. And when you open it, this is how it will appear or it will look like. So you make sure you are on the all part. And you can see we have a number of plugins, so many. The plugins here, you see, GIS is in such a way that every font can use it, right? And that is how QGIS used to design. So the plugins here are not part of QGIS. They are third party or they add extra functionality to your QGIS, right? So the QGIS itself, there are certain things that it cannot do. But with the plugins, you are able to add something, an extra tool that can help you undertake or run certain analysis. And that is what we have here. So just like you have Microsoft Word, and you are able to add Mendeley to it, which helps you to do referencing, right? So that is like an add-in. So in QGIS, we have what we call plugins, and the plugins are what we can see here, different type of plugins. So now you can choose any of them that you are interested in and install. So when I click on any of these plugins, right, the first one, Algo Maps, right, when I click on it, on the right-hand side, you can see details of the plugin and what you can use it for and things like that. So you can read here to see what the plugin is about, the tags, and then there's a home page that you can click here to take you to where the home page of the owner or the detailed information about the plugin, and you can read more about it. We also have the code repository here. That is the code they use to develop that plugin. When you click here, you can trace and see the plugin. And this is the author. That is the one that developed it, right? So the name to the author's name is also here. So once you use the plugins, you have to give credit to the developers or to the authors of those plugins. Some of them too, they will request that if you can donate some funds to them, help them to develop more plugins because they are free. They are free to use. So once they are able to make more money, they can develop more plugins for our use. And up here we have the install. So whenever you install plugins, when you come to the install, you have plugins there. So if you have not installed any plugins, this place will be empty. But you can see all what you have here. I've installed all these plugins. This is the reason why you can see them here. Also have the not installed. These are the plugins that I haven't installed yet. And when you check here, the upgradable, they will tell you plugins that you have installed. Then there is latest versions of them that you can select them and you can upgrade. So I've installed the HCMGIF, but there's a latest version. See, they attempt that there is a new version available. So when I come down here, you can see they say what? Upgrade plugin. So when I click on the upgrade plugin, it will update and install the latest version of the plugin for me. So that's how that part works, right? So I've installed from zip. You can download the plugins outside. You can download them from Google or from somewhere. You can upload here. You can use this to choose where they are located. And you can come in and install it from here. So from now, I would like us to go to the QGIS website to see how plugins work. So I will stop sharing this. My browser with you. I want to search something. Okay, I'm sharing this with you. So I'm going to search for QGIS plugins, right? QGIS plugins. You can see something like this. So when you come here, it has taken us to the website of QGIS. They are plugins. So you click on the first one. So you can see here, they are telling us that QGIS plugin web portal. QGIS plugins add additional functionality to the QGIS application. So there are some certain things that the QGIS itself cannot do. So with the plugin, it's like there are extra tools that you can add to the QGIS or you can install to QGIS to help you undertake certain analysis. So when you come down here, you see they are saying that notes for plugin users. Plugins are developed by independent organizations and developers. The QGIS organization does not take any responsibility for them. So all the plugins that you see here, they are developed by individual organizations. So you can also develop a plugin and you can add it to the plugins part of QGIS. So any organization can develop their plugin that they can use to undertake analysis or things that will benefit their organization. So they are warning us here, the QGIS organization is warning us that all the plugins that you see there, it's not from them, but it's from third parties. So when you use it and later on there's a breach of your privacy or your data is leaked or there's something, you cannot blame them because they are not the owners of the plugins. Right? So when you come here, we have so many plugins. So let me click on the explore. Let's see. So when you come to the explore, you see we have plugins here. Let me say sort by latest version. Okay. And okay, ascending order. Okay. So you can see we have plugins here. We have what? 3D Arc. We also have 3D City Builder. We also have 3D City Database tools. We also have 3D IOC. All these are plugins that you can use them to do analysis, right? We have accessibility calculator. We have accuracy assessment. We also have actions for relations. There are many. So what you have to do is if you're interested in any of the plugins, you just have to click on it, go to their website, know more about it. What do they use it for? You see, they say this tool transform 2D lines into 3D arcs, similar to the something arc layer. The 3D data is embedded directly in the features geometry, allowing users to visualize the arc in QGIS 3D. So that's if you want to do 3D analysis and other things, this plugin allows you to do something like that. So you can always visit the QGIS website and you can learn more with regards to plugins and other information relating to QGIS, right? Okay, so let's go back to our interface. Now, when we come here to the plugins part, now I want us to install one plugin, which is very, very important. Okay, so I want us to install a plugin called QuickOSM, right? OpenStreetMap. This is very, very important. I want us to install it. We use this one to extract data, right? Vector data from OpenStreetMap, right? This is very important. You are going to work within an area. You want to digitize buildings. You want to digitize roads. You want to digitize certain information of the environment. You can use this. So you can see download OSM data thanks to the Overpass API. You can also open local OSM or this a special parser on top of OGR. It's used to let you see all OSM is available. So you can see this is the outer 10 mail or something like that. Yes, that is the author, right? So you can see the latest version of their data. That was 3rd April 2025. Right? That should tell us that whatever data you are going to get here is not current. We are in December, 20th December 2025, but their latest data is 3rd April 2025. Okay, so once you don't have it, you click here to install. I have it already. That's why they are telling me to reinstall or uninstall. So you make sure you install it. So once you install it, You come back here, right? So you can see it here. It's here, quick OSM. It's there. If yours is not here, when you go to vector, you expand the vector, you can still see the quick OSM is there. If it's not also there, to click on the processing, open the tool processing toolbar, then you go down there, you can see it. Quick OSM is there. Now, I also want us to install what we call HCMGIS. So you go back there, open the plugins. So when you go there, you search HCMGIS, right? It's also here. So make sure you install that one too. So once you are done with this, so you come at the top here, you can see the HCMGIS is there, right? It contains a lot of base maps, right? It contains various feature about the earth or about the world. So if you click on this, the first one, you see we have what we call base map. So let's scroll down. So you can see different type of maps. You have the vector tiles. There you have the every dark, nova, night, so many maps. We also have the Google satellite maps and other database. When you go to the second one, to also have download pin data, you can explore all of them, right? Now, when we come to this thing, by default, we also have what you call web, right? Now, I want us to install what you also call quick map services. So let's go back to the plugins and install something called quick map services. So you type again quick map services, right? It's here. So you try and install it. It's very, very important. So once you are done installing it, so when you come here, you have what you call web in the standard toolbar. Come down to the quick map services. You see, you also have different type of maps there. So you come down to where we have OSM, OpenStreetMap, right? So you pick the OSM standard and make sure you add it to your map canvas. Before you can do all these things, you have to be connected to the internet. If you're not connected to the internet, you cannot do this. So now we now have this. So I'm going to zoom into Ghana, right? So Ghana is right here. When I get to Ghana, I'll zoom into Kumasi, right? So this is Kumasi. So when I get to Kumasi, I'm zooming straight to Central Market, where we have Idum, KJTR, we have Roma Hills, and the rest. Yes, so you can see. So the plugin gives you extra information, right, that you can see here. So if you are dealing with your analysis, you want to know where the boundaries of your area falls, you use this as a reference. So when I go to the shape files that we have used so far, I think we have Ashanti regional shape file there. So when I drag it and drop here, so you can see where it falls, right? So it shows the Ashanti region is inside Ghana. So I'm going to change the outline. I don't want the Ashanti region has failed. So I'll change that. Okay. So I'm making the outline as what? Blue. And then the fill is no fill. Okay. So now we are going to use the quick SM to help us extract certain data from Ashanti region. Please, are you still following?
Yes, please.
Okay. So now we can see in Ashanti region we have buildings, we have roads, we have different type of information, right? So assume you are going to do your work here, but you don't have the shape files. The quick OSM can help you extract data within this area of interest, right? Or within the map canvas, right? So, but for now, let's just take the Ashanti region out and we'll deal with the map canvas. So I just want you to know that you can use the shapefile boundary and then you can extract the information of your choice. So now I'm going to zoom into a smaller area. You see, the Ashanti region was so broad, right? So I'm going to zoom into somewhere like this. That is the KNUST campus, right? So I'm going to zoom in there. Now I want to get the buildings in here. Right? So you can see here we have buildings in the OpenStreetMap. Can you see them? Let me also add another map so that you can appreciate it better. Now, when you go to the HCGMS, right, HCGIS map, the base map to, you can see we have Google satellite images there. We also have S3 maps, but we are going to add the Google satellite. So when you add it, as you can see, the buildings here are the buildings in KUSC campus. We'll turn off the OpenStreetMap standard layer off now so that we can see the buildings I'm talking about in KUSC. Hope you can see them. Now, but if you want to extract the data from here, we cannot extract this data manually, automatically. We have to create a shapefile and come and digitize them one, like my friend taught you how to digitize. Now we want to use the OpenStreetMap to help us extract data automatically without having to digitize them manually, right? So you cannot extract them from here. The OpenStreetMap, you see, when you go to the various countries, campuses of universities and things, we have what you call the mappers. So those youth mappers, they contribute to OpenStreet data, right? So they dedicate their life and time to digitizing buildings, uploading them on OpenStreetMap so that spatial data can be available for us to use, right? So if you want to extract data, we cannot get from the OpenStreet the satellite image from the auto extract, right? Unless we do it manually. There are also advanced means that we can use AI, you can use Python codes and other parties to extract data from satellite image. For now, what we want to do, that's the quick OSM, right? The quick map services to get the quick OpenStreetMap to extract data. We cannot extract from here, but we can only get it from what? The OpenStreetMap standard or the OpenStreet data sources. And so I'm turning up the Google satellite. Then when we come back to the OpenStreetMap, you can see we have the buildings here, we have the farmlands, we have others, right? So as you can see here, so we want to extract the buildings here so that we can have a shapefile or a layer that will contain the building. So now that we have installed the plugin called the QuickOSM, which is here, you don't have it here, go to the vector, you can see the QuickOSM. So you make sure you click on it. So click on it and it has opened, but it's not showing here. So I have to share the screen of that with you. Can you see it there? Can you see it? The QuickOSM.
Yes, please.
You can see it. Okay. So when you open the
Yeah.
QuickOSM, you see on the left-hand side, we have the map set, right? We also have quick query. So the quick query, that is where we can what? Go in there and then use it to extract data. We also have another here, see where we have query here, but we're not going to use that one. We're going to use the quick query. So it has been designed in such a way that you have some parameters here. You can select it will extract data for you. So when we come here, you see we have what we call the preset, the quick query. So here we have a not mandatory, e.g. bakery or something like that. So now you go to your extreme right hand side, pan the drop down button. So you see what we have here. We have annotation, we have buildings, so many things. We have craft, you can have roads, facilities, infrastructure, like so many things, hospitals, schools, right? Highways, car parks, land use, water bodies, everything is here. Anything that you need. All you have to do is just you can type it in here. You can type it in here. So let's say if I want buildings, right? I'll just type buildings. So you can see we have what buildings. So the data is being categorized into different fields, right? So we have buildings that are apartments, we have buildings that is what entrance of buildings. We also have buildings that are garage. We have buildings that are housing that are used for residential purposes. We have buildings that are used for industrial purposes. And we also have buildings that are used for loading dock. So we are just going to pick the buildings that are used for housing, right? So that is what we are taking. So when you come down here, you see we have building there. So the key is the mother layer, right? So the mother layer is what building, as you can see at the top when I type in buildings. But under the buildings, we are choosing what the value is what house. Right? So you can change that here. If you don't want house, you want hotel, you want something, you can still change it here. But we are leaving it as what default as what the house. But if you want to add again, you see here we have add. You can add and you can also select something again and add. Right? But we just want to limit it with one. So if you don't want this, you come to the right hand side and click here to remove it. So once you are done, so we want to extract buildings that are used for residential purposes. If you come in down here, we have what the spatial extent to use for this. So you can see from the output here, we want to extract the data based on this interface, right? So now, say you should choose. So here we are going to say what canvas extent. So the canvas extent, just the part of the map, the open street that is showing in our canvas that we can see. To extract the buildings from there for us. If you don't also want to use that, we have what you call the layer extent. So you can add a shapefile, right? And you tell it that you want them to extract the buildings within the shapefile, the polygon, the boundary for you. But we don't want that. We only want the canvas extent. So I'll choose that here. So once I'm done, you see down they're telling you that all OSM objects with the key building, which is called to house in the canvas or layer extent, are going to be downloaded, right? If you want to see the query, you can click here and you can see it. So it's like a programming. It is already designed for us. So if you come in here, you can see the query here, which I've put here. So you can copy it, go and do your analysis somewhere. If you want to run something, you can adapt it and use it for your analysis. Okay. So now we are going back to where we have selected. So once you are done with this selection, what you have to do is now to click here to what run query. So we click and wait. So you can see down here saying that downloading data from what data sources for us. So now it's done downloading. So once it's done, you can close here. So when you come back to the interface, you can see it has extracted the buildings that are what used for housing for us based on what the map canvas. So it has only extracted data that is here for us, right? But we did not add a shapefile. So maybe you can add a shapefile, then you specify an extent and it will extract the extent for you. But remember, I was telling you that this one is not to what? It's not current. So you can see that some buildings are here, but it has not downloaded it for us, right? That is one deficiency of it. So with this, once you are done, you have to still come and verify it manually and make sure you add some of the features manually, right? Remember, I said this data is here thanks to the contribution of the OpenStreetMap. So once they have time to come and digitize some of these buildings again, add them to the OSM. When you download, you can get all of this. But this is to tell us that this is the only buildings that have been captured in the OSM data or the OpenStreetMap, the data set. That is the reason why we are able to get that here. Is that okay? So now, so you can play along, you can see whether these are two buildings, right? If you want to verify, you can reduce the transparency or the opacity of the buildings layer here so that you can see it clearly, the buildings on top. So I can reduce it. Okay. So you can see we have the buildings there. Can you see the buildings in? Okay, that is why. So if you want to track for rows too, you do similar thing. Instead of buildings, you now choose what rows. So once you are done, you can go to the attribute table and you see what is there. You click on, so you see shapefile is added automatically. Building house, that's the name. Building underscore house, that is the layer. So you can right click, then you go to attribute table. So you can see attribute table here. So all the buildings are there. Every building is unique ID. pool ID. We also have the OpenStreetMap _ID. We also have the OSM type. Then we have the building. All the buildings that we can see here are what? Houses. So it's also possible that maybe some of the buildings that are not shown here or that are not part of what we have here is that some of these buildings are likely not to be houses. So some could be offices, some could be shops, some could also be hotels and things like that. That might also be the reason why the data that we have extracted, those ones are not. Okay. So that is how we use the QuickOSM. So whatever data you want to extract of your interest, that is how you use it. Okay. So now we realize that the layer we have here as the buildings layer, it is symbol here. That means that the layer is what? Temporary or scratch layer. When you close your QGIS and open it again, this will not be there again. It will disappear. You have to right click and go to a spot, save feature as a shapefile and save it into your folder so that you can always have it. Or right click, come down here. We have something called make permanent. When you click on make permanent to again, it will give you opportunity to go and save it in the folder of your choice. Okay, so now I'm going to take off these layers for now. I'm going to clear this. You don't need it since we are done with this. Now, if you also come, you know that sometimes when you come here under your browser, right, you come down here, down. We have what you call X, Y, Z tiles. You see, you also have the OpenStreetMap there. Can you see the OpenStreetMap? You can drag it and drop. You can have the OpenStreetMap there too, where you can use it as your reference. You see, Ghana is always here. So if I'm adding the shapefile of Ghana, you see, you have the Ghana boundary here. Okay. Okay, but I have the Ghana districts here. So you can see it has fit in well. So you always use that one as what? As a reference, right? So all the maps we see here are the base maps. They are reference maps that we can always use. When you go to the CM drive, there are other maps there that I want us to see. If you come in here, if you expand the base map, we have what you call Cattle Light and Cattle Dark. Cattle Dark is a very nice base map that if you are doing a stylish maps, if you want to style your maps, make your maps look nicer, right? You can always add it as a base map. It gives you a darker, right? A darker background. So you see, so when I drag the Ghana districts on top, right? You can see, you see the background is what? Dark. It's a dark base. Like the fill is what? Dark black, and the writings are white. So this is also another nice background that you can use when you are styling your maps. So if you go in there, we have a lot of them, right? A lot of base maps here that you can always use. But that I was talking about, you realize that we have so many plugins that when we keep on talking, we can never cover them all. You have to just go and look for plugin of your choice, right? The one that you want to use so that you can always use them for your analysis. We have one plugin here called Google Earth Engine, which is very important. If you are going to do remote sensing, you want to do land cover analysis, you can always use it. Not only that, you can also see in here, I've installed some plugins, right? Lots of them. The semi-automatic classification plugin that you can see here, you can use it for remote sensing and land cover analysis. If you want to do classification, land cover analysis, you always need that. We also have the KML plugin here, which we have used already. Yes. So basically, or in brief, these are some of the plugins that we can always make good use of. So now you know how to install the plugins, you know how to explore the plugins from the online source, the QGIS website. You can always go in there, look at the name of the plugins. If you want to undertake some analysis and you cannot do it here, go to Google and search, or use AI, you search, what plugin can I use for this analysis? They will give you the name. So you come in here, you click, you expand here, right? And you search for the name. You search for how you can use that plugin. And once that is done, you can always use it for your analysis. Okay, there's also this plugin that's very important that let me show you. When you go back to the plugins, we have what you call ORS tools. It's a plugin. So when you come and search ORS tools, okay, that plugin is here, right? So this plugin helps you to do accessibility. So if you want to do accessibility mapping, you can use these plugins. You can choose your rows, you can choose your feature, and you can run, and it will execute accessibility for you. Like you have boreholes, you have schools, you want to do accessibility map around a community to know which of the houses are within accessible range based on certain standard distance. So you can use that to do. So the ORS tools, which is here, when you install it, it's like this. When you open it, it's something like this, right? So you can see that then go with what? Driving car. So you can use that if you want to choose foot walking. You want to walk fast, shortest recommended, you can get along with all these things, and it can do the analysis for you, and you can tell whether um your area of interest that you are dealing with, certain facilities that you want to map them to know their accessibility, accessible range, whether it's good for you, or maybe you want to drive right from your house to a particular location in your community. This can help identify the shortest route for you to use, right? You're in the city, you are going to travel to the hospital, and you want to know the shortest route to use to get to the hospital earlier. The ORS tools could help and identify the shortest route for you that you can use within the shortest period of time to arrive in your destination. So basically, that is how we can use the plugins